Joining me now with more on the president's foreign policy, Dinesh D'Souza, president of King's College, author of the book, The Roots of Obama's Rage. Good to have you with us, Dinesh.
Thank you.
Let's first your reaction to what you have seen and heard of the confrontation in the White House between Benjamin Netanyahu and the President of the United States.
Well, I think that Netanyahu, who has been counting on, you may say, bipartisan support for Israel, can't believe it. The Israelis have kind of suspected this about Obama, but this is a realization of their worst fears. I don't think it's a matter that Obama doesn't understand or that he's missing the point of the negotiations. I think the real issue is that Obama is not really a friend of Israel. And this separates him not only from a lot of Republicans, but a lot of Democrats. The paradox for Obama is that he's counted on strong Jewish economic support as well as political support to propel his candidacy and to propel him to the presidency. So he's taking a risk here, but I think he's taking a risk for something he really believes in.
And what is that?
And what he believes, in my opinion, is that Israel is a kind of occupying power, a neo-colonial power that is sitting, if you will, on Muslim land. Now, he realizes he can't ask Israel to get up and go home, but what he's doing is he's putting more pressure, a more aggressive demand on Israel than anyone considers politically realistic. I mean, the Israelis have hundreds of settlements on this territory. It was won in battles with the Palestinians that the Muslims started, and yet Obama's basically saying, give that back. So Obama is, in a sense, declaring that he's, in a sense, on the Palestinian side of this negotiation.
And not only give it back, but give it back as a condition preceding to negotiations that would set forward the parameters and the borders of the two states, Palestine and Israel. So the president here, with Benjamin Netanyahu across the seat from him, can we see that? I'd like to just put this picture up. Of the two men across from each other. I mean, these two are effectively combatants. Their body language, their attitude, the words. Netanyahu lecturing this president. Now, I understand the partisan politics. I am critical of a number of the president's policies myself. But did Netanyahu, in your judgment, go too far in both his response yesterday to the president's speech, in which he basically said to recant, and today, in which he lectured the president and talked about his policies, implying clearly that they were a matter of illusion?
I think you're absolutely right. In your description of these two guys as combatants, they're on opposite sides of the spectrum on this. Netanyahu is a little bit more obvious in his, you may say, bellicosity. Obama is more smooth. He does very tough things while putting a very soft rhetoric on it. You have to appreciate the difficulty for Israel here, because we've been talking about, you know, the Arab Spring, the wonderful democracy. But what is a spring for the Arabs is a bit of a winter for Israel, because it's very likely that Israel's best friend in the Middle East, namely Mubarak, is now out of there, and there's more likely to be a more anti-Israel and probably more anti-American government in Egypt. So what's happening with this democracy is it is likely to bring more anti-Israel forces to power in the Arab world. And then, remember, Egypt has brokered a peace between Hamas and the former Palestinian Authority, so bringing the Palestinians together. It's all bad news for Israel, and this is only going to make things worse for them.
And it can't be helpful for the Israelis to be looking for all the world as if they're in a confrontation with the very government that makes their existence possible, that is, the United States. This is a peculiar political situation. I understand the provocation on the part, from the perspective of Netanyahu. I just don't understand the politics of responding so publicly and in such a confrontational manner. It's not helpful to, I would think, Israel's interests.
Yeah, my thought with Netanyahu is this is a sign of desperation. He's a guy who realizes he doesn't have many friends in the world. He has some enemies in Israel also, but certainly the United States he's a dependency of the United States, and to have the President of the United States take a position that is so radical that no other leading Democrat, I'm convinced, would have taken the Obama position. Netanyahu realizes that he's counting on a man who he can't count on.
Dinesh, thanks for being with us. Good to see you. Appreciate it.